Israel is contrary to all the rules of history. Never in history did a people spread over the world, disseminated, make a comeback. Never. Not only to the land, but also to the culture, to the language. And only in this country have the children speaking the language of their forefathers, the Bible. Undoubtedly, we were first. Undoubtedly, that was our homeland. Undoubtedly, that we were forced by empires to go to exile. And then the Arab came here by force, too.
Peres was very controversial all his life. He was much more popular at the time when he was working with David Ben-Gurion in the Ministry of Defense, and he was much more of a hawk, a political hawk. Later, he became more and more a dove who tried to make peace with the Palestinians, who created the Oslo agreements. In Israel, Shimon Peres is not credited as he should be for what he did for the country. And most of the Israelis even don't know what he did for the country. When you tell them that he built the nuclear reactor, or he was the architect of the alliance with France, which brought to the Suez War, or you tell them that he was the man behind the operation in Entebbe, they're just surprised. He has a lot of dreams. As long as the new Middle East is the matter, like it changes and people are going to become much more friendly and live in peace, and Gaza is going to become a new Singapore, in this Shimon Peres is a dreamer. He is the most controversial political figure in Israel. Today, that is changing because he was elected president. He is today representing all the strata of the Israeli society. So today, he is very popular, something to which he cannot get used himself. He says to me, listen, I've got 70% of popularity. How does that happen? He was used always to have half and half. Some of them were crazy about him, the other wanted to kill him.
About his greatest success is that Israel exists, because Israel was heavily threatened, and I think he managed to make sure that the Arab countries would consider Israel a fait accompli and not something you can get rid of. On the other hand, obviously the greatest failure is not having signed yet a peace treaty. And I am sure that peace is there. All we have to do is sign.
I have to repeat again, Your Excellency, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I was born in Belarus, which at the time was under the Polish government. It was a Jewish small town, a shtetl, only Jewish. The predominant languages were Hebrew, Yiddish, and Russian. So I got my education in a Hebrew school. My first language was Hebrew. My father had forests and produced wood. My mother worked in a library, and she gave me a taste for books. My grandfather was my real educator, and he used to teach me the Bible. He was a rabbi, but a modern one. He played the violin, he read Tolstoy, he read Dostoevsky. The whole town was Zionist, so was my family. Half of them came to Israel. Half of them, unfortunately, were late to come and were exterminated by the Nazis. The whole Jewish community was forced to go to the synagogue, headed by my grandfather. It was a wooden synagogue. They were closed in the synagogue. They went with the talis on their shoulders, and they were burned alive, all of them. My father went to Israel in 1932. My mother and my brother and myself came 2 years later, in 1934. We were settled in Tel Aviv. Then I joined in a youth movement. And I was very active in the youth movement, the largest youth movement of Israel. At an early age, when I was 19 or something like it, I was elected to become the Secretary General of the movement. The head of the group that I joined in was David Ben-Gurion, the founder of the state. After studying in the agricultural school, I went to a kibbutz, became a member of a kibbutz. I married Sonia, whom I met at the agricultural school. She came with me to the kibbutz. Our first daughter was born there. And I was in the kibbutz until 1947, at the age of 24.
And I was very young. I was walking around with my father, and my father said this was the most beautiful place on earth, and I believed him. But this remains the place where not only the state of Israel was created, but the kibbutz movement was created, where the utopia of a fair, democratic, modern Israel was created.
I was at that time very close to Ben-Gurion already. I was in many ways his right-hand man. And Ben-Gurion was shocked when he learned that after the Holocaust, and in spite of the Holocaust, the ones who survived the Holocaust couldn't find a shelter. All the doors were closed, including the doors of Israel that was under the British mandate. So Ben-Gurion says the most urgent thing is to create a Jewish state no matter about the size of the land, to have those people who went through the Holocaust find a haven for their life. It's an all the accusers, time has come that they will search themselves. What happened during the Holocaust? Where have they been? What did they do? Why did they close the doors? I thought Ben-Gurion was right. He says we have to have the state right away and sacrifice land and save the people. And I was totally identified with him. I felt he's honest, he's historic.
Argentina, abstention. Australia, yes. Soviet Union, yes.
There was a United Nations resolution that has decided on a partition to create an Israeli state, an Arab state. We agreed, they refused. The whole country was dancing and singing. It's hard to describe. There was just one sad person in Jerusalem. That was Ben-Gurion. He stood up, I was near him, and I said, tonight they dance and sing, tomorrow they'll spill blood. And the next morning, the attack began. were attacked by 7 Arab armies. The Arabs at that time counted 40 million people. The Jewish community was 650,000 people.